Welcome back to What She Said Sports, everybody. Okay, just back from the gym. Some good news, Daniel Oyefuse dropped a nugget, some good information that for the first time and long overdue, Shedeur Sanders is QB1 on the Cleveland Browns depth chart. So when you look at the quarterbacks, you should see Shedeur Sanders' name right here. Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel is at the 2. And I checked I always look at the depth chart from, I think it's ESPN or somebody like that. So they already updated it. Shedeur is QB1 on the depth chart already. So shout out to Shedeur Sanders, right? He made it to a place. Oh, excuse me. My bad. Hold on. My microphone is over here. I was working. Just in case you didn't hear me, if you're just not joining us, welcome. Round of applause to Shedeur Sanders. He just they updated the depth chart. He's officially QB1 on the depth chart. That's huge, right? Because Kevin Stefanski was non-committal. Then he came back and said Shedeur's going to start for week 13. But the depth chart being updated shows you that Shedeur maintains and holds the QB1 spot. So for those of you who said that Shedeur Sanders likely was told by Andrew Berry in his ear that you're QB1, you might be on to something. So I just want to give an applause to Shedeur Sanders for being QB1 on the depth chart. He'll likely be QB1 for the remainder of the season. Now, there's another order of business we need to take care of, and that's firing Kevin Stefanski. So understand this, right? I personally don't know why Kevin Stefanski still works in the NFL, let alone the Cleveland Browns. And based off the stat that Tommy Callahan dropped today, that I posted twice on multiple platforms, because I was astounded to learn that Shedeur Sanders, who was supposed to be QB2, number 2 overall, QB1, number 2 overall, to the Cleveland Browns, before day one of the draft, they had evaluated this young man and determined he was worthy of being the franchise QB for the tune of $46 million, QB1 to start the season. And I don't care if they wanted Flacco to start a few games. But imagine where they would be. What would be the Browns' record if they started Shedeur? Just say week 1. Right? We know Flacco was only going half the season, but Shedeur actually won the little fake competition. And the competition was real, but it was fake when they chose to ignore that Shedeur won it. So that's why we call it a fake competition, meaning you let him take part in something you said he wasn't worthy of because he's a 5th round pick. And then when he won it, you chose to ignore the results and keep pushing forward with everybody but Shedeur, and chose not to get Shedeur ready. But there's one stat that came out today that everybody should be talking about. And it's the fact that Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback in NFL history, going back 120 plus years, meaning ever, to throw 250 plus yard passes in his NFL official start. So the kid played one game and is already breaking records. Somebody posted a mocked up version of Shedeur Sanders being retired in Cleveland. Facts. This is who you have had in your midst the whole time. And it's not like it's a mystery or it's a surprise. You were going to draft him at number 2, but you said you took a big swing and missed with Deshaun, which means absolutely nothing because you still have Deshaun and you planning to get you a white QB next year. You know what you did? You took a big swing and miss when you drafted Dylan Gabriel. That's what you did. That's where your big swing and miss was. Because if Deshaun wasn't a good quarterback, he wouldn't be out there helping Shedeur or Dylan. And his influence has already been impactful in terms of helping these players. And I don't want to hear shit else about Deshaun Watson and MassageGate if you're not going to talk about the white players that was married, that they found out about, that gave Deshaun Watson them damn phone numbers and them women. Don't say nothing. Because y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Just like you don't say nothing about Justin Tucker, so shut the hell up. So Deshaun Watson is already supposed to be around next year. but they want to get their quarterback with their first round pick they got for trading away Travis Hunter. And Kevin Stefanski, I showed y'all a clip, was saying he wanted no part of that, meaning Shedeur coming to Cleveland. But he hot heavy behind Dylan. Well, clearly he don't know talent or he don't give a damn about it. He also don't give a damn about winning because he announced that Dylan was returning from some concussion protocol, even though people start to question, was he actually concussed or just got moved out the way, that he was returning to practice. Were we supposed to be scared? Were we supposed to be shaking in our boots because Dylan is coming back? And you mean to tell me that Bailey Zapp is not better than Dylan? That you will put Bailey Zapp back on the practice squad? Then if that's the case, what the hell did you cut Huntley for? Huntley better than Dylan. But Huntley's also black and beautifully melanated. Pay attention. Somebody posted today they've never seen so much hatred for a quarterback since Lamar Jackson. How many times have y'all heard me say, what's the difference? What's the similarities or the difference between Shedeur and Lamar Jackson? And I have pointed to their melanin. How many times? They get hated on the most. Out of all black quarterbacks, they get triple and double the hate. Because they either are afraid or they can't stand to see their melanin, or they know that maybe the more melanated you are, the more talented you are. I don't know what the hell it is. These are just theories. I don't know what the hell their problem is. But they don't want black quarterbacks, period. So when the NFL sent word through one of their insiders, like an Albert Breer, and we're going to talk about him on the next podcast, that they didn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. What the hell they was talking about? Because we know it wasn't talent. The kid is a generational talent. And not only is Kevin Stefanski an ungrateful bum head coach, Shedeur Sanders stopped the slide. Irony. They were in a 3-game losing streak with Dylan. And he want to come out and tell us that Dylan is coming back to practice like it's supposed to be impactful and people get happy. I don't know what the hell his problem is other than the fact that I do believe he is racist. And that's really enough. But in addition to that, he might be a little psychotic. I'm not sure. But he's definitely irrational. Because if he told y'all yesterday that Shedeur was starting in week 13 because winning is the goal, did you just not hear me say Dylan was in a 3-game losing streak? So him coming back to practice is futile. And that's why Shedeur is on the depth chart today. See how they tiptoeing around Stefansky? See how he still worked there? When Tommy Callahan issued that stat that basically said that Shedeur is a generational talent, and everybody inside the NFL world knew Shedeur was supposed to be number 2 overall to Cleveland, they evaluated him and said he was their franchise QB, but something about Deshaun. And this Deshaun is still there, but they still going to get their quarterback next year. They got their franchise QB for $975,000 this year instead of about $12 to $13 million. And they held him back until they hit 2-8, damn near rock bottom. They only won 3 games last year. So Shedeur got to the place where they were last year. Understand this, Shedeur Sanders was getting ready to tie up that Ravens game if it wasn't for his head coach sabotaging him. Gentle reminder, it's documented. Stefanski has set up Shedeur Sanders and sabotaged him every goddamn game he's played for the Cleveland Browns. I'm so sick of Kevin Stefanski and his overseer attitude. He is not a head coach. He thinks he's an overseer. He thinks his job is to keep certain people in line, not to win football games, not to develop talent, but just make sure to put the blacks at the back of the line. And he thinks that giving Myles Garrett the game ball is going to buy and curry favor so Myles Garrett will get the message. We don't want you to speak highly of Shedeur. What to hell with that? Because Myles Garrett said it. The best player on the team. No other quarterback in the league could make that throw. So when Tommy Callahan dropped that stat today, that's facts. It proves that Shedeur Sanders is generational talent. And they, the Browns, allowed Kevin Stefanski to hold back generational talent, even though they got it for $975,000 this year, a deep discount. But don't worry about that. Shedeur gonna get his money. That's another chapter. We'll get back to that. For now, it's fire Kevin Stefansky, who cannot be trusted to be the head coach of Shedeur Sanders. And that was before I read Tommy Callahan's stat. And once I read that, I got pissed. So you mean to tell me this kid is out here, is generational talent, is proven, and you let Stefanski hold him back? If I'm a Browns fan, I want him banned from the NFL and ran the hell out of Ohio, the whole damn state. I don't give a damn who you want your quarterback to be, but you do not allow Kevin Stefanski to live out his plantation fantasies with generational talent or anybody else. Stefanski treats Shedeur like he don't have people that love him, like he found him in a ditch. And like Jeffrey Dahmer, he can drag him inside his house and lock him up and mistreat him and put him away. That's how he treats him. Like he's psychotic. Like his goal and mission is to destroy generational talent. And he still has a job. And they tiptoeing around him. The truth gonna come out anyway. How many times have y'all heard me say, the NFL not getting out of this? Shedeur Sanders should have been drafted first round overall like he was supposed to the Cleveland Browns, the same team he plays for $975,000. Now he on the depth chart, supposed to go and carry the rest of the season and probably can do so. But with Kevin Stefanski sabotaging him, Shedeur shouldn't have to deal with that. That's negligence at this point. Kevin Stefanski being the head coach from this point going forward is negligence. It was negligence before this. But now that you know that this kid can overcome his own head coach, you saw that disgusting display in the locker room to undermine Shedeur Sanders' leadership. It is negligence at this point by the Browns organization to leave Kevin Stefanski, somebody who is not a winning coach. So why would you leave a ragtag, bump behavior, sub 500, non-winning head coach to be responsible for the leadership and development of a generational talent? That's negligence. And that's going to fall at Haskins' feet. So if he want a baby and coddle Stefanski, then he going to pay the consequences. And when they run him out of Cleveland and force him to sell his team, and don't think a congressional hearing is out of question, because you heard what 47 said yesterday. Now, he practically done told you what it's going to be. So for those of you that thought a congressional hearing couldn't happen, what you got to say now to that? And that's why the depth chart was updated today. Kevin Stefanski is not fit to hold Shedeur Sanders' cleats. It ought to be somewhere in his closet crying because he decided to take on the role of an overseer, and everybody sees it. And we know he's not a good coach. He's talentless, and got his job because of who he knows and because he declared himself a servant leader of the Cleveland Browns. For Shedeur Sanders to be a generational talent and left in harm's way with Kevin Stefanski is negligence. And y'all see Attorney Crump posting everything Shedeur say. I hope he see this too. I might send it to him. Shedeur talked about how extremely difficult things have been because Kevin Stefanski made things extremely difficult. And I heard somebody try to say that Shedeur was blaming Kevin Stefanski by saying, if I had imagined what I could do in the offseason. First and foremost, he's not blaming anybody. He's speaking his truth. And secondly, if it hurt, hit dogs holler. And it's true. Imagine if he had been prepared. Hell, they could have won the damn Ravens game. Right now, they are tied with the Bengals. The Bengals are getting ready to play somebody that might be a little tougher for them. They get ready to play the Ravens. And then the Browns are getting ready to play the 49ers. And y'all know Brock Purdy just threw how many interceptions yesterday? So I'm assuming Mac Jones going to be the starter. But you want to talk about Shedeur in a damn interception when Judy stopped running his damn route in the Ravens game. And if you go back and you watch that game, and members, we will be watching the game at 6 o'clock because I saw some things. Yeah, Judy stopped running his route. That wasn't the first thing he did. And I do believe that might be the reason Tommy Rees said Shedeur is going to be playing with the people that he came in with in the spring team, because he saw some things and the trust is just not there. And I will say it again. That is Buster AZZ behavior from Jerry Judy, because you cried about not getting yards. And people say you wanted to play hopscotch, skip to my loop. No, you stopped running because you knew what was going to happen. People say the NFL should suspend him. I totally agree. Terminate his contract and bring back Tony Brown, who was retaliated against for giving a damn about Shedeur, because Kevin Stefanski was running around like an overseer and don't want a black man to care about another black man. And was intimidating all them damn players, the white ones too, from gravitating towards Shedeur, trying to practically force Dylan on the franchise and the fans. And when he proved to be inept, he decided, well, we just gonna keep pushing this train down the track till somebody else had to come out and stop him. And then he still want to come out talking about Dylan coming back to practice. You ain't gonna tell me Dylan Gabriel better than Bailey Zapp, because you dead ass wrong for releasing in the wind Huntley, who was better than Dylan. But he's black. So I hope y'all see what's happening here. When you black and you generational talent, you get sent to a team with an overseer and not a head coach. And then your teammates get intimidated from giving a damn about you because their contracts practically demand loyalty or else. And it seems like there's some rivalry happening around here. Because how do you go from crying about not getting the ball to getting it and you want to start walking? And the game before that, you want to stop and stop on your route. And then I saw some other things. We're going to talk about it. You ain't do that for free. And y'all veterans. Cedric Tillman, he don't get a pass. People want to say what Jerry Judy did last year. I don't give a damn what he did last year. I know he sold out Shedeur Sanders. I know he got the same melanin as Shedeur Sanders, so that makes him a bum buster. Or a Buster AZZ bum. Pick one. I don't give a damn about his accomplishments last year. When you sell out your own quarterback, you a pariah. And Kevin Stefanski, as a head coach, has made himself pariah. And if he's allowed to coach Shedeur in this 49ers game, and he set this young man up again, this young man get hurt, it's going to be a problem. So Haslam better ask himself how much smoke he want. Like they say, Shedeur got about 10 million fans right now, directly and indirectly. We already talked about what happens to black people in white spaces. And Kevin Stefanski is a perfect example of a person that takes pleasure in holding back black excellence. He ought to be ashamed of himself. I don't even know how the hell he's still married. His wife didn't just up and leave, take the kids, go to her mama, and take 3/4 of his shit. Because I'd be damned if you bring that shame on the family that you out here racist. Who the hell want to be bothered with that? They got kids, I'm sure. The kids don't want to go to school. Talking about your daddy racist. He don't like Shedeur. Yeah. Because that's what happens. It falls on the family. One of the things Shedeur said, Coach Prime is a cool dad as long as you do right by the family. You're not out here embarrassing the family. Kevin Stefanski embarrassing his whole damn family. And if that's their family secret, well, we all know. Pariah. Jerry Judy. Let's see if Andrew Berry let him live as a member of that team, making $54 million to start skipping to my loop after crying about getting the ball. And for it to be veterans, if y'all jealous of the rookies, that tell me y'all don't have no guaranteed contracts. So was that the offer? Because if you had guaranteed contracts, you ain't worried about no rookies. And if you worried about rookies, then you're not good. And if you mad that they bonded, well, why y'all didn't bond with them? Y'all don't have no guaranteed contracts. So is that what they offering you? To sell Shedeur up the river so he don't get a passing touchdown? And he got it anyway. So it was futile. All you did was expose yourself because he still got the passing touchdown. And everybody now knows he's a generational talent because he can do what no other NFL quarterback can do. And I already told y'all they was pushing Stefanski on the island, but he sound like he don't get it. He don't get it because he still got a job. Eventually he'll get it. So this is why we looked at this before. We kept saying, now how do we get from here to Shedeur Sanders being an NFL MVP predicted by AI? The next 10 NFL MVP, one of them, stats. And look at the team he went to and look at the condition that team is in right now with J.J. McCarthy as the quarterback. In 2020, was that 2025, they had Pat Mahomes not going that way. So that's not right. 2028, was that 2028 C.J. Stroud? Or 2026, C.J. Stroud. 2027, Caleb Williams could happen because right now the Bears are doing good. C.J. Stroud is doing good. But based on his freshman season, yeah, I can see why they came up with it. Based on Pat Mahomes' in Super Bowl legacy already, I can see why they said that, you know, Pat Mahomes could be an MVP, right? But see, they made him climb his way out of the bottom. Because having a white mom is not enough when it's already 16 or 17 black starting quarterbacks. With Shedeur being number 17, which is why he got done the dirtiest. He wasn't the only one. He got done the dirtiest. And we know about it because he got 6 million fans. Marvin Harrison Jr. over there balling out in Arizona. They just have a quarterback situation too. 2 black quarterbacks. And when they put Jacoby Brissett out front, you know what they said? Oh, he's good. That's what they want to say about Shedeur, like it's a surprise. If you're going to draft him number 2 overall, you knew he was elite. And when you got him for $975,000, you wanted to humiliate him. Let me find out. That was the plan. When 31 NFL scouts and executives showed up in Colorado for the Buffs' first game in 2024, after Jacoby Brissett became the 15th black starting quarterback. So they thought they was going to start pigeonholing to make sure they don't get 17, and they were successful. They moved Shedeur out the way, like they moved Antonio Pierce out the way as the Vegas Raiders head coach. Mike Tomlin was moved conveniently out the way and intimidated. So he don't get Shedeur. 2029. Conveniently when Coach Prime's contract ends in Colorado. The Minnesota Vikings, Shedeur Sanders. Why the Vikings? The funny thing is, when Shedeur was at the combine, he had 3 hats. I remember seeing the Browns, the Saints, and the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy, if they'd have left Daniel Jones where he was, or Sam Darnold where he was, Minnesota wouldn't have a quarterback issue. But no, they wanted to take Anthony Richardson's job. So they sent Daniel Jones and incentivized him financially to win. Then they wanted to move Geno Smith out the way and send him to Vegas to block Shedeur to justify, oh, we don't need a quarterback. So he over there in Seattle, and he was out here throwing interceptions about 3 or 4 last week. The lengths they go through to hold back black excellence. Shedeur is a generational talent. And when in October of 2024, he was the number 1 pick overall coming out of college, that's what he should have been. But they wanted to rig it to send him to Cleveland so he wouldn't go nowhere fast. So they locked him out of the first round. There's a whole lot here. It's called corruption at the highest levels, and leaving Stefansky in place will continue to expose it because he is on a mission to sabotage Shedeur in the worst way possible. Understand that. I don't give a damn if they go out and they lose to the 49ers and everybody else. Shedeur is still a generational talent. That's on Stefansky. I can tell you that right here. That's on Stefansky. And the voice is going to keep getting louder because people realize that Stefansky set Shedeur up by taking him out of the game in the red zone. So that should tell you, and that happened twice, that should tell you that Stefansky knows that Shedeur is elite, but he didn't want him on the team. He didn't want to prep him to get ready. He didn't want to reward him when he won a competition. He didn't want to get him first team reps in chemistry. But he wanted to prop up Dylan and sabotage Shedeur every single time. And he was comfortable losing with Dillon. If I'm a fan, y'all ain't getting a damn dime of my money till you get rid of his ass. It's fire Kevin Stefansky immediately or expeditiously, or deal with the consequences that come with corporate negligence. There's no justifiable reason Kevin Stefanski is still the head coach of that team. He didn't have a winning record when the season started, and he's already dragged his team down to hell second year in a row. No excuses. All he's doing is causing damage, unless that's what you want. And you don't want that smoke with 10 million people watching globally. You might think you want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. Shedeur's escapability is top tier. I've watched players from the last game fall on his legs and not get called with roughing the passer multiple times between the Ravens game and the Raiders game, and I'm not the only one. You don't want this smoke. So, yep, our guy is QB1 on the depth chart, which means he should be QB1 going forward. Now, ask yourself, since they want to be negligent and leave Kevin Stefanski at the helm of his team, why Shedeur's QB1? Do you expect Stefansky to continue to sabotage Shedeur? Because Shedeur now has taken the helm of a team at QB1, something Kevin Stefanski did not want. Didn't even want him on the team, even for $975,000. God works in mysterious ways, don't he? So let me see what y'all saying about this. Oh, and there was some breaking news that came in too while I go through the comments. I think Coach Prime reported, I believe, yeah, Coach Prime has reported that Coach Prime has reported that Juju Lewis will redshirt for Colorado. So with one game left, Juju has decided to redshirt. I think that's an excellent idea. I don't think Juju Lewis should be playing under Pat Schumer. Pat Schumer's contract is up, and like Stefanski, need to be fired immediately. So I guess that can't happen for whatever reason. They got to let him play out his contract. So Juju don't need to play under him. The question is, who's going to be the quarterback? Are they going to go back to Caden? I don't know if that's a good idea either, because that situation got to be tenuous. So that's either Staub, Colton Allen, or Ponder. So if y'all heard who the quarterback going to be going forward for this last game, let me know. And if you know how long Juju redshirt going to extend to next year or something like that, let me know. We probably could talk about it on the separate episode, but I'm happy to get the conversation started. All right, so I'm checking the comments based on what we're talking about. If you're just not joining us, Shedeur Sanders is listed on the depth chart as QB1, which likely means it's permanent, despite Stefanski coming back and telling us that dealing with the practice, like we supposed to be scared. And it surprises me that Bailey Zapp is not QB2, because I'm shocked that Bailey Zapp is not, according to Kevin Stefanski, better than Dillon, because Huntley was better than Dillon, and they cut and waived and released Huntley, and he had to fend for himself. Hey, Tina, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, they changed the depth chart. Yep, they changed the depth chart already. You can check it out. It's already out there. Shedeur Sanders listed first, row first, the one that we check on ESPN as QB1. That is facts. And they have listed, let me share it with y'all guys so y'all can see who's where on who. And you know what? Let's check who they got with the receivers. Let's see if they made any changes to the receivers, because they damn sure should have. So let's look at that together right fast before I go through these comments. Here it is, right here. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure y'all can see it. Hold on one second. All right, y'all can see it. I'm over here to the left. Okay, so Shedeur Sanders, row one, starter, Shedeur Sanders, QB1. Yay! Then we have Dylan Gabriel second, Deshaun Watson third. No fourth string. Deshaun Watson is on here because he's injured. Understand this. They must have put Bailey Zapp back on the practice squad. Now, I'm shocked that Bailey Zapp isn't better and Dylan should have went to the practice squad. Let's just be honest. Dylan should have went to the practice squad and likely Bailey Zapp should have been QB2 because there's no point in bringing in Bailey Zapp and anybody else behind Dylan. Dylan is not an NFL pro quarterback. And if he is, it will be under another coach. And that just proves how horrendous Kevin Stefanski is as a head coach. I don't know. Maybe Dylan is a Daniel Jones. Hell, I don't know. But from what we've seen, it don't look good. Shedeur made things happen, right? So next we have Quashawn Junkin is RB1. Dylan Sampson is RB2. I think that's a change. I believe Dylan Sampson early on was RB3 and Jerome Ford. So they must have switched. Jerry Judy is still wide receiver 1, unfortunately. And Malachi Corley, hell, he probably should step up. Cedric Tillman and still Thrash. See, there's nobody else behind Cedric Tillman. So basically, he has to play unless they're going to use Malachi Corley as well. Because as you can see, Jamari Thrash is injured. So they need a wide receiver. Why they didn't get Odell Beckham Jr.? Do y'all think Odell Beckham Jr. will make a nice addition? Did they not interview Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice? Why they didn't get him? Is it because Stefansky, it was his decision? Was it his decision to bring in an undrafted free agent quarterback from Memphis that can't help nobody do shit? So you got Bailey Zapp, who's not better than Dylan. You got Dylan, and then you brought in undrafted free agent of a quarterback to try out. All the while, you holding back Shedeur, a definitive generational talent. I mean, that's just chaos, right? That's just chaos. What are you out here doing? You're not trying to position the team to win. That is your job. You are not a damn plantation overseer. We know because slavery ended. Did he not get the damn memo? He acts like he's an overseer. He's not getting people based on talent. And he knew Shedeur was talented and didn't want Shedeur. This is inexcusable. He should be fired. He should have been fired. There needs to be consequences for this. And Cedric Tillman and Isaiah Bond. So Isaiah Bond is the starter for wide receiver 3, and Gage is the backup. Hell, I say take Jerry Judy and suspend him and make Gage the starter. And then move Cedric Tillman out the way and maybe Jamari Thrash or hell, get somebody else. Because if you brought in Brendan Rice and you still need a wide receiver, why you didn't get one? Harold Fannin Jr., yes, we know he's the starter. I didn't know Njoku was the second, so that's different. Because when we checked earlier, I think maybe around preseason, because I always check the depth chart, Njoku was first. So they have Njoku second. I'm surprised they didn't trade him. Not that I want him traded, but you would think if they demoted him, so to speak, and made the rookie the starter, that what? They would have traded him. I mean, as far as I know, he was out there catching what Shedeur was throwing, so I don't know, you know. I think that's weird. And then we have Cam Robertson and KT Levingston as left tackle. Somebody said number 72 like Shedeur. That must have been this guy right here. I think the back of his jersey says Levingston, the left tackle. Okay, all right. And I thought they would have traded DeJuan Jones, but he on injured reserve. Didn't see, I don't know, Cam Robinson, how he balled out. Then there's Batonio. He is the starter. And then Tevin Jenkins. Seemed like he did okay. I don't know. Shedeur was scrambling back there, so I'd have to dedicate and focus on them in the game. I was too busy looking at Shedeur ball out. Ethan and Luke. So that's the center. Better than last time for sure. Then there's Wyatt Teller, the one that picked up Shedeur. Shedeur spoke highly of his O-line, so I'm going to let it be. Jack Conklin. Okay, he was still out there. Cornelius Lucas is the one. They paid $5 million this year and next year, so I thought we would have saw him. But so far, I haven't seen him. And as you can see, they have KT Levingston on the right and the left. Understand this. Cornelius Lucas and KT Levingston are ambidextrous for the most part. They can play left and right side. So you think you would see those guys, right? especially when you see like Conklin facing the stands, right? Or getting a penalty or a holding. He had a holding call. So I don't know why they don't make adjustments like that, especially when you have people that can play on both sides of the ball. But again, it goes back to Kevin Stefansky's coaching. Then on defense, Myles Garrett is still at the 1, best player on the team. Then Cameron Thomas. Myles Garrett was heard saying, "Can I get the defensive player of the week or something?" I'm like, yeah, he should have that. Collins and Harris and Mason Graham is the starter over Mike Hall. Oh, Shedeur's buddy, Huntington is injured. I didn't know that. Okay, Aiden Huntington. I saw him in a commercial. I think I saw him in a commercial. I think that's Shedeur's. Remember when they did the little 1-2 thing or something like that? They did the little 1-2. I think that was him, and he made the team, but I didn't know he was injured. Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright. Alex Wright just got a new contract extension, but he injured, and I didn't know they gave people lucrative contract extensions when they injured. But hey, what the hell do I know? Muhammad and Jerome Baker and Jeremiah. I don't really know them. Carson Swessinger, also a rookie starter. A lot of people are beginning to praise once again Andrew Berry for this being one of the best draft classes that the Browns have had. I would say only if they make things right, because Shedeur is their franchise QB. And I don't care if they don't want him, but he should have been drafted number 2. And if they wanted to get a white quarterback, they should have just traded him to another team at QB1. But all of this lying and saying he not good, saying he has to earn it, nothing will be given. And when he earned it, he still wasn't rewarded. And Dylan earned nothing, but was given everything and didn't deserve it because he's not that guy. He's been propped up, and Shedeur has been sabotaged. That's going to make any judge upset that you would do that to another human being. This is criminal. You not only were trying to kill his career, you were trying to destroy him as a person. Shedeur said it. This has been extremely difficult. I know it has. I was worried about him because this is not easy to deal with. And at that age, and you think Stefansky hasn't seen enough young of that? But he took pleasure in it. The same type of pleasure those men that snatched James Byrd up off of a road that people saw him walk up and down in Jasper and decided he was worthless and tied him up with a chain like a dog to the back of a pickup truck and dragged him for miles until his head was severed from his body because he's black. And that's the extremes they go through. So they better fire Kevin Stefanski before we get to this damn game. No justifiable reason he's still the head coach. His behavior towards Shedeur is vile and it's racist. Denzel Ward is the starter. So is Devin Bush. Grant Delpit. Grant, I know he was happy. He was like, I don't even know what it feels like to win anymore. It's a shame to do that to the best players in football in the United States. To force them to adopt or accept a losing culture like it doesn't disrupt the locker room. To intimidate them and to staying away from Shedeur and not being free to speak on what's happening. Rather than play Shedeur and win because he's black. Beautifully melanated. And I don't know what their damn problem is, and I don't care. I know Kevin Stefanski needs to be fired yesterday before he does any more damage. Ronnie Hickman, free safety. They only have 2 free safeties. They can get Shiloh. Tyson Campbell, D'Angelo Ross, and then Miles Harden. So they have on special teams. Is Gage on special teams? Isaiah Bond is on special teams. DeAndre Carter, the one they gave Shedeur number 2 jersey to, he on injured reserve. He on special teams and he a receiver. And they probably kept him just so Shedeur don't get his jersey number. Don't be surprised. That's the extremes. And then Gage is a starter on special teams. And so is Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson should be a starter on somebody's team as running back 1. He definitely didn't need to be running back 3. But so they bumped him up to 2. So shout out to him. He definitely made a name for himself. So as y'all can see, Shedeur Sanders is the starter. Okay, if you're just not joining us, let me just give him another round of applause. The fact that it is on the depth chart is likely going to stay that way. Hopefully Kevin Stefanski is not around in time for, hopefully he fired after this podcast. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, because he don't need to be left to do any more damage, right? Shedeur shouldn't have to go out here and game plan to defeat his own head coach and whatever players they done bribe to set him up so he can't get passing touchdowns and get stats and look like the generational talent that he is. But he did it anyway. And yes, we know he can overcome it, but he shouldn't have to defeat his own team and game plan against the opponent every week, every time he plays. So we don't know what extremes Kevin Stefanski will go through, including getting him hurt. And you can't take it to chance with his life, and nor should you. Just like people took a chance with Kyron Lacey. That's right. You'll be cleared in a grand jury proceeding. How the hell you know that? And he didn't even make it. Because this is a lot for people their age to deal with. These guys just play football all their life. They ain't been out here in corporate America dealing with racism every day. So they can know how to deal with this. And people that have. Shedeur has been through worse than what I've seen in corporate America. So shout out to Shedeur Sanders. Position on the depth chart is QB1. I know when Kevin Stefanski get fired, y'all gonna blow my phone up. I happily await that day. Hit me up on every goddamn platform. I don't care. All right, going back to the chat. Hey Elijah, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Pay Shedeur his money. Yup, that's chapter 3. God damn it. That's chapter 3. We know he generational talent. Run me my money. Head over to What She Said Sports. Get your 12 on the front, but run me my money on the back. Hat and hoodie. That's why I did it. Because they need to pay him his money. That is facts. And we don't want the $46 million. Oh no, because he could probably get close to $1 billion. I'm not lying. What they have done to this young man based on what we know, and he knows way more than we know. And they know it. So they crazy for keeping Stefansky over there. That means, like I said, he know where the bodies are buried. They shifted and putting him on an island. He too out of it to know that that's what's happening to him, but he know where the bodies are buried. So they got to move in a certain way, but they don't have no time. They don't have no time to allow him to stay in place and do damage. They could think that. And that's going to be the worst mistake this league has ever made. Yeah, stop with the racism. Let him play ball. Instead, I hope he used to improve because that's all they can ask. Yep. And Tommy Reese said it. Shedeur has improved and done everything, we've asked. In other words, Tommy Reese was the only one who said that Shedeur was ready and he developed fine, did what was needed to be done. He's also the one that seemingly may have possibly picked up on something from some of these veteran receivers, in particular, Jerry Judy. And that's why we were hearing about Shedeur playing a lot, because I went back and read it, and the word a lot stuck out next time. I said playing a lot with the rookies he came in with in the spring. And people said that's why Jerry Judy was upset. But look how he acted when he got the opportunity. People think he's betting. I think he just shady. I think he been bribed. I sure do. JJ McCarthy is stinking up the joint in Minnesota. Why the media is hush-hush about it? Because he's white. But they want to talk about Cam Ward. And I'm going to tell you something. Here's another thing. I'm glad to see Shedeur as QB1 on the depth chart because I said it. Now, if they put Dylan out there against Cam when they know everybody is waiting on that game, they some miserable people. But with Shedeur at the QB1 on the depth chart, it should be Shedeur for that game in 2 weeks against the Titans and Cam Ward. Everybody's waiting on that game. But first, we got to get past the 49ers with Kevin Stefanski as the head coach. And we looking for the sabotage. Yeah, everybody looking now. Yeah, a lot of people, even some haters looking. A lot of haters have been converted. Tony Grossi is one of them. It's that they trying to do Russell Wilson the same. Yep, keep him out the Hall of Fame. Facts. What is Kevin Stefanski's obsession with Dylan? Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little weird at this point. Kevin is on that stuff. Yeah, he act like it. He act like he's not rational. And normally when people are on rugs, they're not rational. They not. So you can't rule it out because his behavior doesn't make any sense. It said Brock Purdy ain't hitting on nothing either, and they just paid him big bucks. The Browns can win next Sunday. I totally agree. Totally agree. It said Kevin Stefanski's obsession with Dylan is sickening. Yep. People should be asking questions. 49ers definitely beatable. Totally agree. It said, I told you before, he reminded me of 12 years of slave overseer. Yeah, you probably did. And there you go. It's back. We done came back to 12 years of slave overseer. Facts. Never saw that movie, by the way. If they can fire Stefansky, the Browns can win the remaining games with Shedeur. Right. Here's the thing. I think Shedeur can overcome Stefansky. What he can't overcome is being injured. And the concern is just how far Kevin Stefanski will go. And they would be crazy to say, oh, we trust him to just be the coach for the remainder of the year. No, he has worked tirelessly to prove that he believes that Shedeur is not worthy of being the franchise QB or QB1 because he's black. So hell no. Because if you understand anything about racism, you're talking about people that fed black babies to alligators. You're talking about people that scalp black people and put their hair in cushions on sofas. You're talking about James Byrd in Jasper, Texas. That's kind of irrational. You're talking about a bunch of racist people inviting a black person to go camping and they never seen again. A black woman right here in Georgia invited to the sleepover, the only black woman invited to a co-ed sleepover. Her family never saw her again. They lured her in. Just like Coach Prime and Shedeur was lured in Super Bowl in New Orleans. And then stabbed in the back in front of millions of people. That's why when people say Coach Prime is NFL royalty, I'm like, I don't know what you've been looking at. But the way they treated him and his whole family, they don't want the Sanders legacy to shine in the NFL at all. And the one legacy that they want to prop up is the Mannings, who are associated with every damn team that try to humiliate Shedeur Sanders. It said, yeah, Kevin is crazy. Did y'all hear that post-game speech? He was cussing and everything. What? Here's the thing. Now that you know the record Shedeur has broken in his first game, in addition to the historic win of doing what no quarterback has done as a rookie in the Browns organization in 30 years, in addition to knowing that in NFL history, going back 120 plus years, Shedeur Sanders is the only NFL quarterback in 120 years on any NFL debut by any quarterback in this league over 120 years to score or to have 50+ yard passing, two 50+ yard passes. 120 years. This should be on ESPN, Fox, all them big channels that want to run their mouth, that want to yap about Shedeur. This is what they should be talking about. It proves the kid is a generational talent, even with his head coach setting him up. So I believe he can overcome the sabotage. The point that I am making is when people like Stefansky keep setting Shedeur up despite everybody watching and the consequences that could come, you can't trust it. It's maniacal, stuck on stupid, determined. I don't care of the consequences. At that point, you're no longer rational. You just fixated on destroying Shedeur Sanders by any means necessary. That's how bad it is. That's why I said, I'm surprised his wife had left, take the kids, go to her mama's house. Because I know she like, okay, you're just a little too fixated on Shedeur. You just a little too fixated on Dylan. Remember when Cam Ward kept going in on Shedeur, people were like, what the hell is wrong with him? It's the same thing. And what did his, I think, fiance say to him? You know, I think you kind of going in on Shedeur a little bit too much. They get fixated. That's why you hear me say stuck on stupid. Fixated. And they can't stop until they get whatever goal it is that they have. I feel like that happens so they could get exposed. It's like they hit a switch and they can't turn back till everybody know what's going on so they can get caught. That's karma. Stuck on stupid is karma. You can't free yourself. You can't free yourself from the dirt you was trying to do for somebody. Now you done dug your own grave. But do I want to see Shedeur get hurt? For Kevin Stefanski to continue to get exposed? No, I know enough. I've seen enough. I want to see Shedeur ball out for the rest of this season and possibly trade it to another team unless they're going to give him his money. Because we're not overlooking the point that he was their franchise QB for $46 million. Because this could all be a setup here to put him out there at the back half of the season and then trade him somewhere else for the same money for 4 years. Hell no. It ain't going down like that. What they did to Shedeur in the draft was disgusting, just like Mel Kiper Jr. said it was. Because remember, Mel Kiper Jr. said it, NFL Insider said what? We don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now, before the combine. So everything that he watched take place, the media character assassination, the New York Giants with Coach Daboll, character assassination, the lies. He used the word at the draft after he had a meltdown that this is disgusting. You know what else is disgusting? Racism. And that's when he figured out what it was. Now, when I first heard him tell the story around on or about February 15th or 20th, I knew what they meant because I knew Jacoby Brissett was number 15 in 2024 Black starting quarterbacks. Cam Ward, 16. That's why they moved Shedeur out the way because there's no story to tear down Cam Ward's father. They used Coach Prime as a scapegoat, pigeonholed Shedeur to number 17 and went and got Charles Woodson after the Vegas Super Bowl, but didn't confirm him until this year after New Orleans, right before the draft. So you wouldn't think that they are what? Disgusting. Talk about an elaborate plot to destroy this young man so he won't become 17 to 32. That's why they said he was locked out of the first round, because first round QBs like Cam Ward are inherent QB1s. And Shedeur, like Cam Ward, would have started the season. But under Kevin Stefanski, he would have been sacked excessively like Cam Ward has. And this is why Kevin Stefanski better be gone before he does any more damage. It said, hey, Chad, I'm at work, but I'm listening in. Okay, Sylvia, thank you. It said it was awkward. Yep. It said they trying Russell Wilson the same in New York. Yep, I told y'all it's not just Shedeur. Shedeur is just the one with 6 million fans. It said Kevin Stefanski would be exposed. He already exposed. Ain't nothing else to see. Ain't nothing else to see. Anything else is just damage. Anything else is just damage. There's nothing else to see. Like everything he's done, just damage. To tell Shedeur the Lord works in mysterious ways, he clearly don't think the Lord is real. But he's finding out right now because he's made himself pariah. And he's exposed and shaming his family and his wife and his kids and all of that. Understand that. Cleveland is not a very big place. And Stefanski's 2 Coach of the Year awards were bogus. Right, so he could have coaching credibility. One person, I think Chef Zay, when we watched the tailgates, I showed y'all somebody with a food truck. That was Chef Zay. I follow him on Instagram. He said, he put up his wrist. He said, it's been 17 games since we were able to do this. I'm like, y'all been losing for 17 games? I know they were on a 3-game losing streak, so I don't know what he was talking about, but it's been 17 games. All I know is Kevin Stefanski was sub 500 when the season started. And last year when they got to 2-6 with a losing record and Deshaun got hurt, he conveniently turned over the headset and relinquished his head coaching duties to the offensive coordinator. He should be fired for that. And then they fired the offensive coordinator and brought Stefanski and let him run it back again, take the team to 2-6, 2-7, and 2-8 with Dillon holding back Shedeur. A generational talent. So I ask you again, if you're just not joining us, what the Browns record would be had Shedeur started the season like he was supposed to, as their franchise QB at number 2. Because if they want to make this about money, and we devalued him because he's already black, he's already rich, and we don't want to pay him $46 million because he's gonna make $10 million off his jersey, and he made 29 from Delta, Nike, and Ralph Lauren. So we're not giving him 13 more. If they want to make it about money, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. You can't quiet the locker room like you want to. They don't want to go back to Dinkin and Duncan. Hell, the announcer in the booth don't want to go back to Dinkin and Duncan. The media don't want to go back to Dinkin and Duncan. I don't give a damn if they want another quarterback. They better trade Shedeur Sanders as QB1. This kid is out here making throws nobody else can, and everybody else stinking up the place. The toothpaste is out the tube, but it's not going back. So if you want to make if you want Kevin Stefansky to stay there long enough to show millions who were present when Shedeur Sanders was being humiliated, you want to show them same millions that you did all of that to make sure he didn't get his full pie because all you gave him was an uncooked Pop-Tart. I ain't gonna never forget that, because to me it's already about money, and now he conveniently becomes the starter. So I asked y'all before, I'm gonna ask you again, who the hell are they playing? It seemed like they was playing Haslam, but I mean Stefansky. Now it seemed like they were playing Barry. Now it seemed like they playing Stefansky. Maybe they playing them both at different times to get what they want. I told y'all they keep putting Stefansky out there to say stuff and they veto him. Dylan returning to practice. Shedeur Sanders is QB1 for week 13, and here he pops up on the depth chart, which means, yeah, that's just what it's going to be. Did Brock Purdy lose his job to Mac Jones yet? Okay. So that's what it's going to be. Kevin Stefansky's speech after the W, that demon, said very little to Shedeur and mentioned Shedeur last when Shedeur got the win. Yeah, and that's the crazy part. Not only did Shedeur get the win, he stopped the slide. They were on a 3-game losing streak. The fan base is happy, right? It's going to always be some ignorant people somewhere, but it's unfortunately one of them is the head coach. He spoke to Shedeur, left him for last, like he's irrelevant. Because that's what he tried to make him on the field by taking him off in the red zone. You're irrelevant. We don't want you. We're not keeping you. And they might trade him. But you're not going to disrespect this young man and expect millions of people to be quiet. He should have been fired. I believe it's coming, but I would hate for it to be the end of the season because he don't deserve that. It's crazy how he want to humiliate Shedeur, but they don't want to humiliate him. So, yeah, his speech was also disgusting. He's trying to undermine Shedeur Sanders' leadership in front of his own peers. He's at the same time, he's manipulative. He's letting all of the players know, don't get attached to him. He's not valuable to us. You was on a 3-game losing streak. He done something nobody else did for this organization. And he out here setting records as an NFL rookie through one official start. He's getting exposed. Right. He's already exposed. Yeah, facts. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It said that was drunken Rex Ryan, always hating on Shedeur. It said not only did he start running his route, talking about Jerry Judy, but he was holding that ball loosely just enough for somebody to behind him to see the opportunity. He knew what was going on. He knew what was going on. He has made himself pariah. That's why I say I'd be interested to see if he's still going to get that $54 million. Because apparently your contract wasn't guaranteed, because if it was, you wouldn't have been worried about no rookies. And you would have been out here sabotaging your own opportunity in front of millions of people. I don't know which game was the most watched game. I said I was going to go back and check between Philly, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Browns, and the Saints and the Falcons. But I know it's up there because the highlights was almost at 2 million yesterday. So I don't know. Hey, how you doing, Alan? How you doing? How you doing? It said, I went back to watch Jerry Judy. He's on some BS. Yeah, he is. We're going to watch it Friday as a community members live stream. I want to point out some things because Shedeur has some allies in the building. I want to point out some allies to you. And then I want to show you some things about Jerry Judy's play. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just say he must have been working up the courage to start running. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Shedeur didn't throw to him anymore. Why the hell? Yeah. And what did he do? Why I wouldn't throw to him? I would. I told y'all they could be two old people in a senior citizen home with canes, and they want to go out there and I wouldn't throw to him ever. And I don't know how another quarterback could trust him, because I don't even know why you did that to him. Because as far as I know, he threw to you before in another game, and you was just whining about not having an opportunity or Dylan hitting people upside the head with the ball. So when you get to Shedeur, you want to set him up. I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all. You have made yourself pariah. And you have embarrassed your family. All of the people that know his family saw what happened. They like, oh, okay. If they was all at a party somewhere, they put their place down and left. Nobody's proud of that. Did you get paid for that? Because you clearly didn't do that for free. Because it wasn't just you. And analysts are calling them out. And I told you, if you black and you set up your team, they're going to call you out. They ain't going to say nothing about their own people, but they're going to call you out. And that's what they're doing. Instead of Njoku up for trade, it needs to be Jerry. Facts. And hopefully that'll change. Hopefully that will change. And the crazy part is Amber pointed out that Shedeur didn't throw anymore to Jerry. You could see Shedeur was getting ready to go that way. And he gave it right here to Harold Fannin Jr. And what did you see Jerry Judy do? Something I have mentioned multiple times that made my skin crawl. He went over to Shedeur on the side and put his hand around Shedeur's neck. I'm like, bro, are you serious right now? I'm like, see, you taking Shedeur's kindness and his professionalism for weakness. All right. Now that was gross. You gonna set this man up like this, then you see he don't throw the ball to you no more, and you want to go over there and put your arm around his neck so he could throw to you again. So what, you could do it again? Mm-mm. Hopefully he ain't been to Shedeur house, because he need to check to see who set him up to rob him. That's what came of the last game, with Stefansky at the helm setting up Shedeur. So let's see what come out the next game. What you have learned is Shedeur can overcome. The only game I don't think he wasn't allowed the opportunity, was the Rams game. But Stefansky did the same thing in the Rams game. Took Shedeur out of the 2-minute drill and put in Huntley. Then cut Huntley the next day before lunch. So yeah, I totally agree. Instead of Njoku being for trade, it needs to be Jerry Judy. Totally agree. It said that there's a couple of posts I've seen them talking about Jerry Judy, what he was really on. People were very suspicious and have a right to be. Facts. Totally agree. Denver didn't want Jerry Judy for a reason. Yeah, that's true. And he been to Colorado and worked out with them boys up there. Snake. Straight Judas. They say you're the hardest working in this space. What she says, sports. I think you only had like 5 subs when I found this channel. Keep grinding. Love from London. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. I was thinking today, I say after Shedeur get his money, I probably gonna end up doing something else. I was like, I feel like I'm on a damn mission myself. It's just I didn't realize it. But I'm not stuck on stupid. So here we go. But thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kid Move. I appreciate it. It said the unemployment line may help him get it. It said the word on the YouTube streets is Kevin Stefanski's wife supposedly cheated on him. Somebody said it was with Andrew Berry. I thought I would die. I don't think that's true. At least I hope it's not. But I don't see why. Just like Tom Shady, his wife, it was an ugly situation. But I kind of see. I mean, I don't think nobody should do nothing like that. But I understand. I kind of understand. Like, I mean, I would have just left him. I wouldn't have had a baby for my Pilates instructor. But see, for them, it's hard to walk away from all that money, even though they got their own, the lifestyle and all of that, the relevancy. So they just cheat. Tom Shady, yeah. Stefansky, yep. The conspiracy of evil men, yep. It said Kevin Stefanski probably on the download. His obsession with Dylan is very suspect. Right. And normally when you see things like that, it's just weird and people play it off. But then when the truth comes out, you be like, you have an aha moment. It begins to make sense because it doesn't make any sense right now. But if you kind of think about it, I went through a lot to get him here, including pushing somebody else down and propping him up and was willing to be a detriment to the team just so he could be happy. I mean, maybe his wife should have him followed to see what they do. And then when I wanted to talk to him, I brought the ladies along. I mean, all they need next to do is for the two of them to go camping, and then that's all I need. If you've ever read E. Lynn Harris' book, you understand exactly what I'm saying. If you don't know who E. Lynn Harris is, go look it up. He passed away, but go look it up. Those books came out. He wrote those books during the DL era when people was talking about it a lot before it became commonplace for in the Black community. So you gotta check it out. Isaiah 54:17, everything done to 12 will fall on all the folk a part of the demonic scheme exposing NFL of collusion and extortion. I totally agree. Totally agree, Ramona. Because that's what's happening, really. The longer Stefanski is in place, the more and more people will be exposed. I said this. I know I said this. I said, Shedeur gonna be there until the truth come out. And y'all saw Andrew Berry, right? And I told y'all from the beginning, I said the Browns just want to get to the end of the season as fast as possible so they can offload Shedeur. Now, get this. One of the reasons they didn't want him to play even for $975,000 is because they got their sights set on. They had their sights set on the Manning kid, who supposedly is not coming out, right? And I said they're gonna have to make a decision. They must want to just roll with Dylan next year because that's the only reason he could still be playing, even though he's not good. They trying to get him ready. But here's the thing. People have said Dylan is actually regressing. See, Dylan came for the money, and he didn't care what happened to Shedeur. He gonna get his. He probably gonna get treated the same way by the little girl he did, because that's how this normally goes. So, Shedeur, on the other hand, I think one of the things that Barry was telling him, you did good. I'm gonna get you out of here. That's wishful thinking, I think. But I can see it happening. We're going to talk about it. Probably around 7:30, 7:35, Albert Breer strikes again. We're going to talk about it. If you don't know who Albert Breer is, big time hater of Shedeur, but also NFL insider. We're going to talk about that tonight. It said, other than a 53-yard bomb pass to Bond, Shedeur didn't even know Stefansky was pulling him off the field. Shedeur didn't even know Stefansky was pulling him off the field. What you mean by that? It said Stefanski is doing exactly what he's paid to do, right? That's why he still has a job. And that's why I'm pointing it out. It's negligence. It's negligence at this point because there's no justifiable reason. He's not even doing his job, right? The job title that he has. I don't care what he's doing for you behind the scenes because that's not going to count, right? Nobody's going to be okay when they find out why he really has a job, why he really got Coach of the Year twice, to give him coaching credibility so he could stay here and do what? To Deshaun, do what? To Dorian Thompson-Robinson, do what? To Jameis Winston, do what? To Shedeur. It says Stefanski point shaved by punting instead of kicking a field goal. Yeah, they said, is that the one where they punted from the 29-yard line? They talking about that don't make no sense. The things he does, it's not trying to win football games. He just trying to hurry up and get Shedeur off the field. Don't want to get no more points. Don't want the score to be a wide gap. Don't want Shedeur to get no passing touchdowns. Extreme measures to hold back a generational talent. You can't hold back a generational talent. If they don't shine here, they're going to shine somewhere else. And if y'all want to trade him, I doubt he cares. As long as he traded as a QB1. And from what I can see, that's what's going to happen. Or he going to be right there next year as QB1. And maybe, I don't know what they're going to do about Arch Manning, but they fans are using their voice. They will be crazy right now. They will be crazy as hell to have one of the best quarterbacks in this league for $975,000, but you're going to get him his money. But his current contract, you would be crazy to move off of that for getting somebody coming out of school next year that Shedeur is already better than. People have already pointed out Shedeur better than everybody coming out next year. Yeah. So let's see what they do. He likes Cleveland and Cleveland likes him. They say that Cleveland is Shedeur City now. They said that on a podcast yesterday on What She Said Sports yesterday. I appreciate you exposing and sharing the facts of the institutionalized slavery of professional football. Right, because that's what it is. That's just what it is. Somebody said they pointed out 12 years a slave. When I talk about Kevin Stefansky being an overseer, I'm talking about the movie Roots. I can't even tell you overall the movie Roots, but I know everybody has seen that slick scene when they try to make Kunta Kinte say his name is Toby. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And Shedeur actually alluded to a little bit of it. I told you he's being transparent for the first time. He talked about how, being a backup quarterback, he had to kind of change his personality. He was used to being a starter, right? So he talked about that, and I was like, okay, that's where they tried to break him and change his personality. He said he was off balance for a bit, but he's good now, right? So basically, they made him a QB2 to subdue him, to humiliate him, because they knew he was generational talent. Remember, he was going to be their franchise QB. They don't talk about that. When you start hearing these big box channels talk about that, then, maybe something going on behind the scenes. But as long as they try to sweep under the rug that Shedeur was number 2 overall to the Cleveland Browns, the team he currently plays for, which means they evaluated him as elite generational talent and have him on their roster and held him back anyway, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. That's unethical as hell. And it's also racketeering. Okay, so let's see. It said Rice is on a team already. Where did he end up? Let me know where he ended up. It said no, Odell Beckham Jr. is washed up. Bond and Gage still ready to roll. Okay, but they need one more person. So based on who's out there, like who could they get to finish out the season that could add some? I mean, if Tillman and Judy on the tape, allegedly, if Tillman and Judy are untrustworthy, definitely. Who else? Right? Who else could it be? He said they got some hungry dogs that haven't made the travel team. So they must have somebody over there. And I don't know who that could be. Apparently the Seahawks got Rice. Okay. So Brendan Rice did make a team. Where is Floria? He had a terrible injury. I forgot what happened, but he got injured in practice. Floria and Gage, if you don't know, are 2 walk-on wide receivers that Shedeur helped to develop to the point they look so good. They got offered jobs with Cleveland to make the team. As you can see, Gage is wide receiver 2 from walk-on to wide receiver 2. It explains why Shedeur Sanders, all of his wide receivers are in the NFL. So Jerry Judy, I don't know what the hell he thought he had going on. Like we couldn't see through his BSery. He has made himself pariah. Taking my afternoon nap, but I will be listening to you as I go to sleep. Okay, well, I hope I'm not too loud. Thank you, Ghost OG. Appreciate it. It said, I think Cleveland would have been at the Super Bowl if they weren't playing them games with the quarterbacks. Right. Because you know what? I agree with you. You know why? Because the league is mediocre right now. The league is pretty mediocre right now. And they want it that way, right? Because if the bar is low when somebody come out of school next year, then you won't say anything. Dylan's was supposed to lower your expectations. So when I get whoever it is that's white next year, if he not better than Shedeur, then he better than Dylan. So that's good enough. It was supposed to make you thirsty for mediocrity because Dylan is horrendous. Under Stefansky, I don't know how the kid made it out of Oregon and come over here like that. That's just weird. Jasper, Texas, that's it. Jim Crow, that is it. Good day, good day. Hey, Kay, how you doing? Okay, y'all, so I think I'm checked. For y'all that are here, 200 of us, make sure you subscribe. I'm on a mission to get 6,000 subs by Christmas Eve. That's roughly less than 30 days. So make sure you hit the like button. Y'all be showing me major love. So thank you. I rarely stop and say this, but this is all I want for Christmas. I want 6,000 subs. So I think I'm about 248 away. So no, is it? Yeah, 248 away. So subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping my Christmas gift become a reality. 6,000 subs by Christmas Eve. All right. So Thank you for that. And back to it. RD said, yep, that's facts. Toledo, Ohio. What's up with Toledo, Ohio? Let me know. It's been a minute since I said something. It said, Judy's working with them good fellas. That's what some people said. That's, that's really what people are pointing to, right? But see, I'm not. You know why? Because Jerry Judy did what Stefansky did. If you look at the bigger picture, what did Jerry Judy's behavior result in? Shedeur not getting a touchdown when nobody was in front of him. Restricting passing touchdowns for Shedeur Sanders. That was Kevin Stefansky's motive with Judkins getting the 2 Wildcats. Shedeur coming out of the end zone. That was Jerry Judy's issue when he trying to prevent Shedeur from getting what? A passing touchdown. So I look at them two and knowing Stefansky and the fact that Judy was just whining about it. But then he got the opportunity and he messed it up. Some might say he petty. I'm like, he crazy. Because I know his contract ain't guaranteed. Because he worried about rookies too much. Then he gonna go over there and hug Shedeur. That was gross. Just as gross is Stefansky's obsession with Dylan. Nashville, Tennessee. It said Shedeur could have passed or ran himself 2 times in the red zone. Right. And that's why they took him out. Even though they talking about he's a retro style pocket passer, they took him out the red zone because they know he's mobile. They have lied on this kid extensively, and it's well documented. And the reason I say Kevin Stefanski is somewhat psychotic and irrational, or might be on something or fixated or stuck on stupid. You do all of this on camera so we could see. I told y'all CBS put together a little clip. I saw it on Instagram. CBS on NFL put together a little clip of Stefansky being dismissive of Shedeur. I said, is this supposed to help? Because it's not. And remember, when they went to a commercial break, I saw Burger King. They played Shedeur's Perfect Timing song, which means they paid him money to license his song to play it when he was a starter and they went to a commercial break. And Kevin Stefanski think he gonna take that kid down. A major network licensing Shedeur's song in a game that he playing in or starting. If they doing games all season, we gonna hit it every damn time. I ain't got no problem with it. But do you understand that he getting his money back? Now I want you to know when the little fella in Miami, Quinn Ewers, who I say they colluded against, and so did his family say it. His family was the first one to call collusion. They drafted him the last quarterback. 13 quarterbacks were drafted. He was number 13. That kid should have been number 4, number 3, or number 4, depending on who you ask. It was either Jalen Milroe at the 3 or Quinn Ewers at the 3, and the other one was at the 4, right? Not Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw. Like, that's what turned out. After the draft, he ended up getting drafted to Miami. And I said, I saw something that he got like $1 million endorsement, like right like that. And when you think about him getting drafted last in the 6th or 7th round or whatever it is, if Shedeur only making $4 million, hell, he probably making either the same or less. Because those contracts are really close when you get to those numbers. And I said, they drafted him last, but they sent him to a better team. And he got some more money to help make up for the money he was robbed of. Now, mind you, it doesn't make up for $13 million. It doesn't. But what it does is, let's see if we can work on it. So to know that Shedeur is getting a licensing deal, if you start seeing him get all these endorsement deals and all this, that, and the other, they're trying to give him his money. That's my point. They're trying to find another way to give him the money that they robbed him of, because they'd have to waive him, nobody else pick him up for him to get a new contract. Now, that's not going to happen. He's already QB1. And it's not going to happen that he's going to ride out this contract for 4 years. That's not going to happen either. So they're going to have to go about a different way to get him that money. And they can't use the jerseys because he's owed that anyway. So they got to find another way to supplement his income. Just like they out there trying to protect Kevin Stefanski with all they might, they better go head on and do right by Shedeur with every ounce of breath they have in their body. Watson money. That's what I say. I say he gonna end up with $500 million. I'm not kidding. He's either that. Do you want to go to court? I mean, hell, he got to be the one to take you at this point. He really don't. That's what's crazy. Don't forget, Brian Flores' lawsuit talked about how quarterbacks are discriminated against in the NFL, and he already got past, you know, two proceedings where the NFL lost both of them. It said Kevin Stefanski definitely didn't make the call to make 12 QB1. Hell no. It looked like he was trying to control every muscle in his face when he was like, Shedeur's going to start. All right. For week 13 against the 49ers. And here he is. They vetoing him again. I'm like, do you not see the play here? They playing you. They letting you look stupid so they could say, you know what, we would really like to keep you. You did some good work for us, but we're gonna have to let you go because it's a liability. You know how that work. I can't, we can't tarnish the brand. Now remember, if they came to him and already told him winning was the goal, he's so stuck on stupid. He planned for Shedeur to lose against the 49ers so Dylan could come back. So what did they do? Since he told us, Dylan back at practice. And so, that's how he think. So what did they do? They put Shedeur on the depth chart at QB1. It's like they sending him messages, but he ain't getting it. He think, see, I know how people move. He think, well, they ain't fired me yet, so that means I'm still in charge. Dylan gonna come back to practice. He coming back to practice. If they told you when it was a goal, and all you want to talk about is Dylan coming back to practice and Shedeur gonna get one opportunity at week 13, not with him being on the depth chart today. They telling you without telling you, you ain't in charge. You just out there. Let's see if they let him do damage. Understand, he believes that because he still have a job and he said Dylan was coming back and winning is what's important, his little narrow mind is going to plot to make sure Shedeur loses this game thinking, oh, Dylan gonna be QB1. It's too many people who have seen the light with Shedeur, and I'm shocked that they not up in arms on why it took so long to play Shedeur and having a conversation on imagine where we could be if we had started with Shedeur or he played earlier in the season. If they're not having that conversation, they are avoiding that conversation because that's common sense to ask that at this point. What took you so damn long? If you was going to get him at number 2 overall, why would you hold him back? There's so many questions that should be asked. Pay attention to what the media is not saying. It says Shedeur is greater than arena ball. It's about Dylan is arena ball. That's a good way to say it. It said Kevin needs to run me my fade at this point. Jim Crow. Yep. It said mine's we got a hater in here. Okay. All right. Y'all do something. Y'all do something with it. It said Tommy Reese don't respect Kevin lies. Right. Don't repeat Kevin's lies. That's true. Tommy Reese speaks for what's right. So, okay. So what does that tell you? That tells you that they are, and I've observed it, Shedeur has allies. Shedeur has allies. And Stefansky is being isolated in real time while still being present. See, that's what happened before they boot out a bad person. People distance themselves from them and they find themselves on an island. And usually because they're so arrogant and stuck on stupid and blinded by their own arrogance, they don't realize it until it's too late. Like, you can't get back in this building. And with him, that might be what you need to do. Because he a little weird. It says stacking on Michigan homer Draymond Green and Lamar Woodley, Jason Richardson. What's that about? It said you saying Shedeur is better than arena ball. I hope you're not trying to diss. I thought he was calling Dylan arena ball. That's what I thought. So you might want to clear yourself. It said Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur are not. So yeah, I think he might be a little tripping, y'all. I don't know. If some people come to the comments and they try to like fit in or whatever, but it's okay. He gone. So coach said Salter is QB1 and Staub is the backup. Okay. Interesting. So let's talk about that for a second. what does it do that and let me know how long Juju can redshirt. I don't think it's just for one game. I'm thinking this goes into next year. Somebody with the knowledge, please let me know in the comments. So the good is I don't want to see Juju under Schumer no more. So I got that, check that box off. Caden in his NFL year gets one opportunity to shine, but I don't want to see him under Schumer either. And he shouldn't even be at the last game. It should be all Brett Bertelon. But people have said it's too late to change the game plan. The game plan was not for a dual threat run pass option that was rarely used, right? But it does give him one last opportunity, and maybe they could just put together some quick plays to let him shine, because it kind of did disrupt his NFL year, right? And he was supposed to be a top QB in the Big 12. He was supposed to be the best rushing QB coming out of the Big 12. They messed that up. One of the things they did was hold back on the run pass option. Y'all know my belief. Pat Schumer and Stefansky, because of their relationship working together, was taking down Colorado and Shedeur at the same time. So I'm glad to hear Juju. I'm glad to hear Juju redshirt. Let me know how long that's for. Are they going to have to start with Staub next year because Caden will be gone? But I'm happy Caden getting another opportunity. Let me know when they come back first game of the year. Will Juju still be redshirt and we got to roll with Staub or get somebody else? Or let me know how that works. Okay, thank you for that. It said Purdy had 3 interceptions. That's crazy. Is he still the QB1 over there? Or did they... Oh, are they going to play Mac Jones against Shedeur? Okay, let's see how that worked. Racism can make you irrational. I totally believe it. Because you had to be irrational out of your mind to drag a person off the street that you probably saw every time you went on that road. And the 3 of y'all tie him up to a truck with a chain and run off and sever his body. That's irrational. That's irrational. So you're right about that. Shedeur is definitely a franchise QB all day. It said don't try to troll and you a dummy. I think that person is gone, but yeah. He's still eating crayons. Still eating crayons. All right. So we're going to get out of here, y'all. We'll be back. Real life. How you doing? Former coach Brian Daboll lied on Shedeur Sanders during the draft process, and he was fired. Right. So I have asked the question, why hasn't Stefansky been fired? I said it yesterday. Stefansky should have been fired after Callahan and before Daboll. And most definitely since Chip Kelly was fired on the spot. I think Chip Kelly might have been fired before they got to their press conference, the post-game press conference. So while the players was getting dressed, I think they pulled Chip Kelly to the side and was like, hey, let me talk to you. Why they won't do that to Stefanski? See, they protecting him because he know where the bodies are buried, but I don't care. Because here's the thing. The truth gonna come out anyway, right? The longer Stefanski stays, that's a consequence for the organization. We have moved into negligence. We have been into negligence, but it's visible to people who couldn't see it before. It's obvious now. That's my point. So the longer Stefanski's at the helm of his team and he's stuck on stupid, blinded by arrogance, and is on a mission, he gonna keep trying to sabotage Shedeur. More and more people will get exposed. Last time it was Jerry Judy and Cedric Tillman. I didn't even see Cedric Tillman, but other people did. Everybody saw Jerry Judy because he made it obvious. And it means you're not very bright. You jeopardizing your money for what? To try to stop Shedeur from having a passing touchdown that he had anyway. You're not very bright. So let's see. Never know. Maybe Andrew Berry told Shedeur, I saw Jerry Judy. I got it. You never know. We don't know what he told him. I don't recall what Shedeur's face looked like afterwards, right? But you know, they don't let on, right? They don't let on. So it's not like we would know. He needs to come to Cleveland and stop it. It said Dallas and get Pickens. His contract is up. He a dog. So you think George Pickens should come to Cleveland? I was trying to get somebody before the end of the season because they feel like they need another strong person. But Shedeur said they got hungry dogs on the squad that has not on the travel squad. So maybe we'll see. Maybe now Shedeur got a little motion. Maybe since Jerry Judy set himself up, that he get booted out the way and we can get some of those hungry dogs. Because to me, the rookies, they balling out there on offense. I think Shedeur can have him a little Colorado squad right there, even though they're not Colorado players, but they were elite, right? They were elite. And that's the point. And some people said they want to keep seeing, I think it was maybe in this section, some people want to still see Shedeur to Isaiah Bond. They like that connection. They say they want that to grow. I feel like we need another strong person, right? But hungry dogs, they got some more hungry dogs. We're gonna find out who they are. So let's see if Shedeur got the motion that he can get somebody up there. And it's funny because if that's what Jerry Judy was worried about, then why didn't you just catch the ball and run into the end zone? Because it wasn't nobody in front of you. You see how people are? You blew your own opportunity. You blocked your own blessing. So, all right, y'all, we're going to be back. We'll be back this evening. I got to go finish my workout. So I had to stop when I saw that Juju redshirted so I could kind of familiarize myself with what the hell is going on. I still don't really know. I got to go back to it. But I'll be back. So I'll be back at about 7. What's a good time between, say, 6 and 7? Is it better to be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 p.m., then 4 p.m.? Or is it better to be 7 p.m., which is 6 p.m., which is 5 p.m. for like just something in the middle? What y'all thinking? Let me know. I'm going to figure it out. I'll read y'all's comments afterwards. Let me know a good time. Is it 6 or 7? I think it may be like 6:05 because if we go for like an hour or so or hour and a half or something, where we at now? We already an hour and 34 minutes. So I might go with 6:05 or 6:35. Let's split it down the middle. We'll go with 6:35. I'll be back at 6:35 to see what's up. And then I'll be back at 10:35. Okay, so we're going to try that again today and see how it goes. Okay, y'all. So I'll see y'all at 6:35. This was good. If you know anything about Juju, how long his red shirt will last, since this is the last game, how does this work into next year? Who will be the quarterback at the start if he's red shirt, or would he start the season next year? Because I don't know if you should have a red shirt for one game. So let's talk about that in the comments. Thank y'all so much for watching What She Said Sports. Do not forget to subscribe. On a mission to get 6,000 subs by Christmas Eve. That's my Christmas gift. Thank y'all so much. All right. Have a good one. See you at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, everybody.